Here to tell us more about workplace safety is Terry Crouppen from Brown & Crouppen. We want to give you a good morning because it's Good Deeds Day. Did you know that?
I just heard about it from a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you're here to do your good deed.
I'm here to do my good deed.
And we want to talk about these injuries because people sometimes are frightened
Yes.
to pursue an injury that they may have had on the job mostly because of repercussions.
Exactly. And it's one of the saddest things. First of all, there's a limited time to notify your employer if you get hurt on the job.
So that's the first thing to keep in mind.
First of all, you have to keep that in mind. If you wait too long, you can be out of the box from the get-go. In other words, you know, if you fail to notify within a certain amount of time and then, of course, not get the proper medical treatment, you can have a much harder way to go.
So it's always best, and a lot of employers will tell you, I don't care if it doesn't hurt, I want you to go now. Go now, and let's settle this now, make sure that there's not...
Some good ones do that,
yes.
And there are many good ones, but there are ones that aren't so good that sort of tells people, well, tell the doctor if you have to go that you really weren't hurt on the job, you were hurt some other way, because they don't want to get there. They don't want to get into the workers' comp system because they're not the ones hurt.
Right. But it's important to have a paper trail for these things because down the road, if some other kind of related injury were to pop up, then you have nothing to fall back on. So, and I don't want to call it a window of opportunity because that sounds like you're being opportunistic, but there is a window of time.
There is a window of time, and it's something you want to take advantage of. And again, when a worker gives their time and efforts to their job, they're compensated.
Right. And
they're compensated because it's a bargain. I give you this, you give me that. They get paid. When a worker gives part of their body to their jobs, they're entitled to compensation the same way, and that's called workers' comp.
Okay, so what's the best way to approach that?
The best way to approach it is, here's what I tell people. Get medical treatment when you need it. In other words, I frequently will say, if you were in your bedroom and you tripped over a pair of shoes that you put there, are you hurt? So there's no legalities involved. Would you go to the doctor feeling the way you feel? In other words, don't go just to go. Go if you need it. If you need it, then definitely go.
Right. So what kind of protection is in place?
The law is very clear that a worker who files a claim, there can be no repercussions or any hostile act taken against an employee for filing a workers' comp claim.
Can that sometimes be a fuzzy area, though?
No, I don't think it's that fuzzy.
I mean, if somebody were to get fired relatively soon after some kind of an injury...
I think if you're saying, do you have to prove it? Yes, you have to prove it. We see very little of it. It's very unusual for an employer to retaliate like that. But it's not unusual for workers to think and operate that they're going to get fired if they file a claim. Mm-hmm. It's sort of a myth that's out there, and it's important that it be squashed.
So the bottom line, if you're hurt and you feel like you need attention, get the attention. Don't be afraid of it. There is protection in place for any kind of repercussion.
And yes, and if you've given part of your body, in other words, if you have an injury that leads to some sort of serious problem, you're entitled. It's only fair that you're compensated for it.
All right. Terry, thank you very much. If you have a legal question for Brown & Crouppen, email us.